Thank you.
All right.
Susan?
Greetings, folks. Thank you very much for making time to join our session today. As folks have mentioned, I'm going to be talking about our product Dell AIOPS. It has had a few name changes over the last few years. So as Lindsay mentioned, it was originally called Cloud IQ when we first went to market about 9 years ago, and it's currently called Dell AIOPS. So that's what we'll be talking through. All right, next slide, please, Alston. So with the name change, AIOps, I just wanted to position the way that we look at what it means to be an AIOps tool. And the way that we look at that is providing for you AI and ML capabilities to support your IT operations. We know there's, obviously a lot of talk about AI. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so, clearly we're leaning into this. And I think some of the things, I hope some of the things that I'll be talking to this morning will illustrate where that fits in the product. So we can go ahead. For a quick introduction, if any of you are not yet familiar with Dell AIOps, first of all, we have had over 700,000 systems connected. The whole point here is providing visibility and observability across your whole infrastructure solutions group portfolio. And I have a slide talking about exactly which products are supported in that. And really embracing this move from reactive to proactive. On another slide, you're actually going to see moves even into predictive and even a little bit of talk about agentic. So this is all about being more proactive, being able to proactively resolve your issues. Starts with proactively or faster time to even identification. So our users have told us with our interface, it enables them up to 10 times faster time to resolution. So we think that's pretty beneficial. And we also have a slide here where we say automate everything. And that doesn't mean without the human in the loop. It means with the human in the loop. But as I hinted a moment ago, we're starting to bring in agentic capabilities into the product, and users can leverage that to accelerate the pace at which common operations are happening, where they can leverage human-assisted automation. And I'll give you some examples of that when we get there. All right. I will talk a lot about AIOps Assistant. I'll even give a short demo of that because there's some very important new functionality that's coming within a week. So I'm super excited about that. All right. Next slide, please. See something about Cloud IQ. Next slide. Okay, perfect. So for those of you, again, who aren't as familiar with Dell AIOps, and I think maybe what's happening in the chat is, yes, the product formerly known as Cloud IQ. You'll see me slip into that a few times anyway. For starters, the whole vision of Dell AIOps is to provide for you that single pane of glass across your infrastructure products. So again, in an upcoming slide, you'll see exactly which products are supported there. It's also cloud-based, SaaS. It's a SaaS application, which means that once you have set up your hardware devices, your Dell hardware devices, and then connected them with Secure Connect Gateway. Great overview, by the way, Lindsay. Thanks for that. That was a great lead into this section. Then you can simply log into AIOps.dell.com and you'll see your Dell assets there. And I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like from our simulator, which you can also access. I'll also note, by the way, that we, in addition to using Secure Connect Gateway as that secure conduit from your data center to Dell IT, we do also require pro support contracts. I know there's an upcoming session on that, so you'll learn more about pro support if you don't already know. The whole point here is to provide for you actionable intelligence about potential issues in the environment. This is what feeds into the faster time to resolution, both from a health perspective, which we have across the board for all the products supported in Dell AIOps. And then also we have cybersecurity for some of our key products, PowerMax, PowerStore, PowerEdge, PowerProtect DD. So there also users can see potential vulnerabilities with recommended remediation so that they can take action to avoid actual impacts in their environment. And again, this is where we are able to deliver that up to 10 times faster time to resolution. I talked earlier about the role of AI and ML assisting your IT operations tasks. So one of the key areas, and I'll point this out, I'm not going to get into a full demo on this today, but I'm always happy to have a follow-up session with any of you in the future. But particularly, I want to point out our ability to detect both capacity and performance anomalies. I like to point that out because it's a great example of the pairing of human intelligence and machine intelligence, where humans can offload to machines the time-consuming and tedious tasks like identifying anomalies, so that humans then can benefit from that information and can then take that again for that faster time to addressing potential issues. And then I made mention of this on the previous slide. I will demo this coming up, which is why I'm talking so fast. But our AIOps assistant is our Gen AI capability in Dell AIOps. And so we introduced that at Dell Tech World in 2024, and we made some significant enhancements and expansions that we were able to showcase and demo at Dell Tech World 2025, if any of you were there. But then that goes live again next Wednesday, 10/15. So you're going to get a sneak peek of some of the cool new capabilities there with our Gen AI tool. All right, so a lot there in terms of an overview. Hopefully, those of you who are less familiar with Dell AIOps coming into this session, maybe that gives you a little bit of a framework for what we'll be talking about today. So next slide. So I made mention of our infrastructure products. I like to call this our family portfolio. Cloud IQ, when it first went live, actually began with Unity, and then we expanded across the storage products. Then we brought in the PowerEdge servers for compute, both IP and fiber channel switches, data protection, and converged and hyper-converged. So hopefully you can see the breadth of coverage that we have in the product and where you really get that benefit of that single pane of glass for monitoring across your Dell fleet. All right, next slide, please. So I made mention of this earlier, but I'll just say again, we really designed the Dell AIOps experience to be as easy as 1, 2, 3. So installing and configuring your products in your data center or data centers, connecting with Secure Connect Gateway. Again, great overview, Lindsay. I think hopefully you already knew the value. Well, some of you knew that, or some of you learned that this morning, but really important to leverage that tried and true and established remote telemetry conduit for sending the telemetry again from your data centers into Dell IT, which is where AIOps is hosted, and then simply logging into aiops.dell.com using your pro support credentials. And so we're able to provide this really as an add-on value to your pro support contracts. That's how we're able to provide this at no additional cost. All right, and then the next slide, which will now have me sharing my desktop, and we'll go from here. And here I am in the simulator. Again, this is available to all of you on the call. You just will supply your pro support credentials to log in. So it's basically the same URL, but with simulator after it. And Dennis, maybe we can get links sent out following this session as well. I should have thought about that. Whenever you log in, you'll see some information here. We call it the What's New in Dell AIOps because the benefit of being SaaS-based is that we're able to push new content as soon as it's available. So anytime there's new content since the last time you logged in, you'll get a little summary about that so you can learn about that. I'll quickly point out, I talked about the proactive health and the cybersecurity. These are two key areas for providing that 10 times faster time to resolution with faster time to identification. And I'll also point out here, when I said that single pane of glass across your entire infrastructure solutions group products, your Dell infrastructure products, you can see here those same categories that I referenced in what I called that family portrait. And so the point here is you can see at a glance if there are any health issues. And I will point out, this is demo data, so it's much worse than our customer environments typically are. Usually our customer scores are in the 97 to 98, being good honor roll students. But the whole point here is either by logging into the browser. We also have email notifications. In a moment, I'll show you screenshots of our mobile app. So whichever is the best way to get your attention, being able to identify if there are vulnerabilities in the environment. And then if you were to drill into the details, you would actually be able to see what the recommended remediations are for those particular issues. So in this case, I have a number of issues. I can see what the recommended remediation here is because, again, this is part of the faster time to resolution, being able to quickly know how to resolve that, and then navigating using your element manager credentials, navigating into the element manager to take that recommended action. So that's a little bit about the health. Cybersecurity, we modeled in a very similar fashion where we will identify if there are cybersecurity risks and, again, recommendations for addressing those. Some of the other things, as I said, I won't give a full demo on this, but I'll just point them out, where we're using our AI and ML analytic capabilities, being able to identify actually starting 90 days out where capacity is going to need to be addressed to avoid data unavailability. And then imminent is the word we use for the capacity anomaly. So that's the capacity analytics, and then the performance analytics. There's a combination of anomaly detection, as you see in blue, and performance impact, as you see noted in the pink. And by the way, I know I'm flying through this content. Is more to provide an awareness if you didn't know about these capabilities yet, and hopefully to get myself invited for a deeper dive, with individuals at companies or the TCSMs on this call. I'm always happy to follow up with you and your customers. So again, just really want to point out some of the capabilities that sometimes I'm told, hey, I didn't know you had that capability. So I wanted to make sure that you do. And then the last part of the demo that I'll show is our AIOps assistant. This is available in the title bar up here, or our masthead. And I want to, first of all, in the simulator, it's not interactive, but we do have examples of queries that we have run through our interactive version that would be online. So it would be interactive in your own instances of Dell AIOps. The simulator is just showing sample queries. And so we started in 2024 with what I call generic queries. What we have recently added, and I'll just show you a couple of these real quick just to get a sense of this. And this will be live in your instances, again, next Wednesday, the 15th, is the ability now to have that Gen AI experience where you can enter a question about your own environment and ask the AIOps assistant to create visualizations of information that's important to you. So in this case, create a visualization, create a table for me showing my switches that have the most port congestion. And the AIOps assistant will create that visualization arranged according to the keywords of that query. Or one more, show me a table with all the systems, storage, server, everything in my environment that's contributing the most to the carbon footprint. And again, AIOps assistant will create that visualization arranged by the keywords in the query. Now, again, I'm flying through this. But we also were told by some of our internal testers, I don't know what I don't know. I'm not comfortable with exactly how to get started with all of the power of the AIOps assistant. So we've also created this capability. This again will be live on the 15th to help get you started. We call them powers, and you can see the different categories where we're providing that for you. So again, that was just a quick run through. I hope you will log into your own instance on October 15th and be able to see for yourselves the new cool capabilities that we have in the AIOps assistant. And I'm also happy to have a follow-up session and walk through that in a little bit slower fashion. But now, Alston, we can go back to the slides. Perfect. So I talked about the proactive health and the fact that you could log in and see across your environment in the browser. We also have email notifications, and what you see here is the mobile app. With the mobile app, we started with support for most of our storage products. We added in support for connectric switches. I can't remember if we have power switch or not, but with a month or so ago, we added in support for PowerEdge servers. That was a pretty common request. So if you've been waiting for that, it's in there now. And actually, I realized I forgot to update my screenshot. So it also has our new branding, Dell AIOPS. Whoops. So these are some of the examples where you could get a notification, for instance, of health. And then Austin, we can go on to the next slide. Some more examples of the type of content, in this case, looking at capacity and performance. So pretty broad coverage for a mobile app, we think. So You can just download it from the typical app stores. Please don't do it until after this session concludes, though. I want to make sure that you get to hear the good input from everyone else. And then we'll go on to the next slide, and I'll do these pretty quickly. I guess I've been doing everything quickly. So this is where I want to bring in the fact that we are shifting. We've shifted from reactive to proactive and even some predictive in terms of some of the predictive analytics that I talked about that we have in Dell AIOPS. I wanted to spend time in the demo talking about AIOPS Assistant, because what you'll start to hear over the next year are some of the additional enhancements we're making to provide true agentic workflows within the AIOPS Assistant. So that's kind of a stay tuned, but it's coming, and we're currently working on them. And then my last slide talking about, if you already knew everything that I already presented, because you're an AIOPS expert, thank you. So this slide is for you. This is what's coming next in the next, I'll say 12 to 18 months. The key theme on this slide is really about flexibility and, again, AI and agentic. So you can see here some of the key innovations and capabilities, starting with, hopefully I didn't demo it because we were doing a short demo, but we do have a pretty full-fledged custom reporting capability. We want to promote that so that you can bring that and onto the main dashboard. That would be the first thing where you can customize exactly what you're looking at and what's most important to you. So that's something that will be coming, that we're currently working on. I talked about the fact that we have capacity and performance anomalies, but we're going to work that into more of a customizable threshold experience that would surface through the proactive health. So that's another area of some key flexibility and customization that we're going to be bringing in. I made mention of some of our AI and ML analytics, particularly the capacity and performance anomalies, and we want to expand that to other infrastructure components as well. So as I mentioned, we're very busily working on bringing in true agentic AI capabilities into the AIOps Assistant. I showed you some examples of the context awareness, and some of the next things you're going to see are recommender agents that will be one of our first steps in our journey toward, or our journey on agentic AI. Then using that recommender agent and the agentic AI capabilities to then support the remediation and automation. And again, I really want to emphasize, we understand the importance of the human in the loop. So this would be human involved, human assisted remediation and automation, but again, trying to drive toward that faster time to resolution. And then the last two things I'll conclude with are bringing more awareness and correlation across related parts of your infrastructure. So today, in our proactive health, we have storage, server, switches, which is great. We're looking to bring more awareness and more intelligence about how those issues within those parts of your environment are interrelated, so we can get to a better root cause. And then finally, we know, I'll say last but not least, when I say finally, we know the importance of ITSM tools. I think probably everybody on this call has standardized on a certain ticketing tool and on a certain messaging and collaboration tool. So we want to make it easier. Today, we do have the webhook capability for health and cybersecurity issues, but we want to make it easier to get to that integration point faster with those tools that are essential in your environment. So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, all of this you see in the center, all of this focuses on a common, and I'll say easier, identity and access management model, and providing more real-time telemetry and using Secure Connect Gateway to ensure reliable connectivity. So with that, thank you very much for your time, and I'll turn it over to the next speaker.